Okay, you can go ahead and turn it on and off real quick. Oh! And obviously that's no good. Heading over to a homeowner's who reports a leaky kitchen faucet. Let's see if we can diagnose and fix that problem. Okay, here we are, and sink works fine. Everything's working. But the homeowner reports they had to put a catch pan underneath here to catch water leaking. And as we go underneath the sink, you can see the catch pan is over here on the right-hand side, and it looks like it might be coming off the hose from the sprayer. I see some water on that. Oh, they're dripping. And of course the catch pan has water in it. So let's go back up top, because gravity pulls water down. See if we can find it. Oh yeah, I can see this is all wet here, because this doesn't pressurize until you turn water on. So we'll turn the water on. Oh yeah, look at that. And as you bend this around, it leaks more or less. That's not good. Let's take this apart. There's a rubber O-ring here. And typically, there's a thicker rubber O-ring that fits in here and seals this off. Well, the first thing I want to do is pinpoint where the leak's coming from. Is it where this hose connects to this base? Or is it between this base and the handle, the sprayer handle? You got this rubber O-ring in here. So what I'm going to do, because that sprayer's not on there, if I turn the water on, it just shoots out of there. What I'm going to do is try to hold my finger over that and then wiggle this back and forth and see if it'll leak. If it doesn't leak, that will tell me that the leak would be in between the base and the sprayer. So I want to pinpoint that so I know what parts I need. So I'll go ahead and turn it on. And I don't know how much pressure I can hold with my finger, but we'll find out. I can feel it pushing. Okay, I don't see any leaks. Just sitting like this, I don't see any leaks at all. And I'm going to twist it back and forth, and there's still no leaks. I'm having a little hard time holding the pressure, but... So that tells me that the leak is between the base and the sprayer. And I would think this rubber O-ring, it's not leaking out here below these threads. It's leaking out down underneath here, which tells me that the leak is coming down through where the water line's coming up and the inside of this base here. And I don't see any gasket in here. I would think there should be a gasket in there to seal that off. So the next thing I'm going to do is identify what kind of faucet this is. Now there's a couple ways to do that. One is faucets typically come with a tag where the water lines connect to the base of this underneath the sink. So I'm going to go underneath there, look and see if there are any tags identifying who manufactured this faucet. Now there is a tag there on actually both water lines. You can see that one there, but that's just a basic tag and it doesn't identify who manufactured the faucet. So that didn't help. Let's go back up top, see if we can see something. And here we are at the front of the faucet, and I see it says Delta right there. So I know it's a Delta faucet, which is a big help because I can go online and see if I can find some seals for that. But also, on these Delta faucets, if you go to the back of the faucet, and this is tight, so I'm going to have to use a mirror. And I don't know if you can see this, but it gives the part number of the faucet there. So I've got the manufacturer and the part number. Let's see if we can get the seals we need. Well, I went online and I went to the big box stores and looked for a seal or a grommet that I could use in here. And actually I tried some O-rings, different sizes, and tried to stop that leak, and I wasn't able to do it. So I called Delta and asked them, and they said they didn't have any replacement parts for this, but they were so kind to tell me that they'd send me a new one. And if you're the original purchaser of the faucet, and Delta, Moen, Kohler, most companies do that, they'll send you new parts at no cost. Now this faucet happens to have a quick connect. All I need to do is pinch the sides, pull it down, put this one in, and snap it in. If you don't have that style, you might have the screw-on kind, which I prefer these, and you just unscrew the other one and screw the new one on. Well, that won't work with this because this has the quick connect. Let's go underneath and I'll show you what it looks like, and hopefully we can get it done. Okay, here we are, and here's the quick connect. It's at the base of the faucet. Here's your two water lines coming in, and here's our quick connect. What I'm going to do first is turn off the water just in case, as a backup. Always good to turn off the water. Okay, with the water shut off up above, all we need to do is pinch these two sides, and I got to find out where that is. Right here. There it is. I can feel it, and you can hear it clicking. Pinch that and just turn it and pull down, and off it comes. Now if you have the other style, this will be threaded and you just screw onto it. Now let's go back up top. Okay, now that we're back up top, we've got a choice. They sent the hose, the quick connect, the sprayer head, and a new base. Now this base is exactly the same, and you don't have to change it out. If you want to change it out, knock yourself out. If you don't want to, don't worry about it. But all you do is unscrew this, take that one out the same way that this nut is on the bottom, drop this in from the bottom, put this on, tighten it up, and drop this down through. Now the problem is I've got a round quick connect here, and as you saw, the one on that sink is square. Well, this was a little bit of a challenge, but they sent an adapter, and I'm going to put this round clip on instead of the square one, and there's two O-rings that need to go on to keep it from leaking. Let's go back under the sink, install all this, and hopefully we got it fixed. First thing we're going to do is turn off the water. Always good to do that when you're working on plumbing. Okay, with the water off, we're going to pinch these two clips in. There's one on each side, and pull down on this quick connect. Now you want to have a pan underneath there because you might have a little water drip out of there. I'm going to pinch these. The water's off at the faucet and also the shutoffs. Pinch in. I'm going to turn it a little bit, pull down. And it releases. Okay, next we can pull the old sprayer faucet out. You just pull straight up and out. Now I'm going to loosen the nut because we're changing the base out. So I'm loosening the nut on the old base, and I have somebody up top holding it still so it doesn't spin. And just pull the base out. Now we can slide the new base in, and I can can install the nut. Again, you'll need somebody up top to hold that so it doesn't push up. And center it up top. And snug that down. Now we can slide the new hose through the base. Okay, the next thing we need to do is remove this old square adapter. And I'm just going to pry this apart and pop that off. Now I need to remove these two O-rings because I've got new ones here. And a sharp knife, you got to be careful. And roll it off. There we go. I got one off. You got to be very careful not to cut yourself and don't use something too sharp. Trying to bring it down to that lower one. There I did. And now I just got to get it out of this one. Bring it down. And there, we got the second one out. Okay, good. Now we've got to put the two O-rings on, and I've got the first one here that I'm going to put up at the top. Okay, now I'm going to show you a little trick to put this O-ring on. If I was going in that first groove, I wouldn't do this because it's going to snap right in there. But I don't want it to snap in there. So I'm going to put the screwdriver along the side, and hopefully that's going to assist me to get it right up to the top where I need to be. And since it's a new O-ring, it shouldn't have any problem stretching. Get that started. Okay, I got it on the first notch, and now hopefully I can roll it right up since I have that screwdriver in there. And I've got it to the second notch, and then we'll keep going. Third notch, and got to get up to the final one. And I'm just rolling it at the screwdriver and pushing it up. Now we're going to do the same thing with the second one. Got the screwdriver in there. I'm going to stretch this over. And we'll roll it up. And on this clip, the prongs will face up. And there we go. She's clipped in. Assuming I have this set up right, all we need to do is snap this quick connect in. There we go. She's locked in. Now, everything's fitting, everything's working, but we haven't turned the water on. So that's our big test. We're going to turn the water on and see if it's leaking. If it's leaking, then something's not right. Now I have to pause here because something in my mind says this isn't right. I was sent instructions, as you see, from Delta, and they call for the rubber O-rings to go on at the top, and then the clip, and then the quick connect. Well, you watched me put it on, and how are those O-rings going to help anything being up there at the top? But I'll go ahead and give it a quick try. Okay, we'll turn the water back on. Now, it's not going to leak because the faucet's off. That only turns on when the faucet turns on. So I'll go ahead and turn this on. And while I'm doing this, it's always a good idea, once or twice a year, to turn these on or off. Otherwise, they'll freeze in place, and then you go to work on your plumbing and they don't work. So you want to be real careful about that. It's good to operate these, close them, and open them back up at least once or twice a year to keep them from freezing up. And then when you do break them loose, oftentimes they can leak. Now we've got this all hooked up according to the instructions. And what we're going to do is turn the water on and off real quick just to check and see that it's not leaking. I don't want to flood this sink base with water, so that's why we're going to do it real quick just to test it. Okay, you can go ahead and turn it on and off real quick. Oh! And obviously that's no good. I'm going to take it back apart and maybe use my common sense to try to get this right. Okay, obviously that didn't work. So we've got the snap lock here. We got an O-ring up here and another O-ring up here. Well, that didn't work. It's leaking down here. So I would think, because the water's coming out right down at the bottom, that you need O-rings down at the bottom to seal it. So what I'm going to do is pull this back off. Okay. And of course you might have some water in the sprayer, so you just empty that in your container. And now what I'm going to do is put a couple O-rings on. I'm not using the screwdriver this time because I need the bottom too. I don't think those top ones are doing anything. I don't know what their instructions are all about. It doesn't make sense to me. I got one on, and I don't think I need the screwdriver for the second one because it should roll right over that one there into that second one there. And that's the way it was originally set up with the square one, and then the square connector was up here. I don't know why they say to put these up here. Anyways, we did it. We did it according to their instructions, and we'll try common sense now. Now we'll go ahead and snap this quick connect back on. Good. And we'll go back up top and run another quick test and see if it leaks. We've got the faucet hooked back up. We've got the water back on. And we're going to go ahead and try another quick test, because I don't want water all over the base cabinet, and see if that fixed it. We'll go ahead and turn the water on and off real quick. Okay, no leak. Try again. Again. Okay, and leave it on this time a little longer. I'll tell you to shut it off. And try your sprayer. And off. And try the sprayer. And off. Okay, we ran that test. I do not feel any water leaks whatsoever. We've got a good firm connection here. So I think we're all set. We'll go up top, just do a double check. We've got everything working up here. Hot, cold, unobstructed hose underneath so you can easily pull it up and down. The sprayer's working well. We've got no leaks where the old one was leaking. Now, one thing that you want to be sure to do is keep an eye on things underneath the sink. I recommend you leave a pan underneath where it was leaking, underneath the hose, just to make sure that everything's taken care of. I would leave that under there for 2 or 3 days. And if you hear any sound like water coming out underneath your sink, in the sink base, when you turn the water on, that's a telltale sign that you better look underneath there. So everything looks good here. And sometimes you need to think beyond instructions, unfortunately. Those instructions that Delta has are not correct. If this video was a help to you, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. And I look forward to helping you with other projects online.